Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some of the weirdest news to go and cover where we're now seeing Xbox and Starfield devs now openly, laughing at folks for trying to go get their hands on the PlayStation 5 copies. We have a brand new, huge game, one of the best-selling games and maybe potentially still Game of the Year, although I gotta be honest, if I had to give my early takes, probably still Baldur's Gate, but one of the other really big games in contention for Game of the Year. Also might have a secondary game in development. We have some Persona news, we have some JRPG news, we have some other stuff as well, so let's go and talk about it, and, well, hope you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. Would love you guys followed or subscribed on the YouTube channel, and of course, give me your thoughts and comments all down below. So first and foremost, if you guys have had a chance to see, Starfield is coming out very soon. I have had a chance to go play a decent bit. I might even do a bit more of it on my Twitch stream tonight if you guys are bored and want to follow, put on the notifications or whatever, or just follow the Twitter if you guys want. Usual shilling aside, the game has been not the best, not the worst. I never want to step on anyone's toes. If you guys are enjoying the idea of like a Bethesda style game, just imagine Fallout with like in space, but maybe a little bit more I guess like contracted for lack of better terms, but it's like okay. Like I think for Game Pass $10, I think it's definitely worth the checkout, and I do encourage you guys to do so. But some folks as well are also trying to get their developer codes, aka press codes, and if you guys know people that do like news articles, or even people like me who are a YouTuber or Twitch streamer, I'll get sent codes all the time. Like companies will literally be like, hey, like you want to stream this game, you might like it. Hey, you played Stardew, you want to check out our farming game, you might like it. And it's kind of just one of those things where it's like it doesn't cost them any money, and they might have some more eyes on their games for free. And of course, when there's a more popular game, a lot of times companies and people will reach out to try and get those codes themselves. Sometimes even for me as like a content creator, I'll be like, hey, yo, can I somehow have access to this, or this, please and thank you? And well, on like a somewhat okay chance, I usually will. But now we are seeing some of the funnier things, where Starfield developers, and as you guys know, Bethesda is now an Xbox subsidiary. It's owned by Xbox. It is an Xbox exclusive for Game Pass PC and Xbox consoles. Starfield, as of right this second, is not on PlayStation. It's just not going to be for the foreseeable future, if ever. It would be dumb if they did, at least at this current moment. This meant to be selling consoles overall. But the Starfield devs have not had other people even asking for it in the first place, where Starfield devs and Xbox devs are now laughing at the games media outlets for literally asking for Starfield PlayStation 5 codes. Now, if you guys have or have not known, PS5 codes are not going to work because the game's not on PS5. I don't know what else to really go and say beyond the fact of making fun of the people who can't take that 1 second of knowing this. Like, this has been Starfield's been out for a long time. Well, at least in terms of been talked about and like trailers and like people getting hyped up for it. It's been out for a while. If for some unknown reason you're a streamer, Twitch streamer, YouTuber, TikToker, reviewer, like a guy who makes a random blog or whatever, yeah, you should probably know within about maybe 3 seconds of research, this is an Xbox game meant for Xbox people, let alone knowing that Bethesda was bought out, but part two, the fact this is an Xbox exclusive, trying to go and sell consoles or Game Pass subscriptions. So Starfield's PR director had a tough job with access to codes for one of the most wanted games of the year. Apparently there were still plenty of laughs in the gig, like certain publications requesting PS5 codes for one of the biggest Microsoft exclusives to date. Now, this may not be as funny to you guys. I think it's hilarious to me, because at least, like, okay, I don't think I want to really call myself, like, a journalist, game journalist, or whatever it might be, but I kind of am. Like, people ask me for my reviews, people go on my Twitch stream if I'm playing games, I'll check out new releases, and obviously I kind of keep up on the gaming news. Like, this is literally even gaming news right now. So, like, I'm on top of my stuff, at least I look for it. But one of the bigger things to know is that, well, my peers apparently are stupid, I don't know. So Starfield's off to an explosive, albeit divisive start with this early access window, and some people were actually upset about that too. Like I did to go have the early access, so I'm like 13 hours or so in the game, and I want to try my best maybe to beat main story quests in the next 1 or 2 days before like the big floodgates open. I think the game is cool, I think I like it. It's not like the best game I've ever played, but I do enjoy it for what it is. And people obviously were upset about that. And of course, some people were upset that some press people also had access to the game earlier, such as folks that were like, hey, yo, like I want to play this game for 3 days early, whatever. And a lot of PR people, even some Twitch streamers I know, like, had access for it. But granted, it's like more of a select few to kind of highlight the game, have a cool business experience for them, you know, whatever it might be. And yeah, and also some people are kind of upset too with the slower start. I think as of now, since I'm over 10 hours in, I felt a lot more of the game. The game itself has felt more open. I've seen more issues though. Like I've seen bad AI, I've seen bad storytelling, I've seen bugs, I've seen glitches, I've had game breaking glitches. I'd probably still put the game like a 6.5 to like a 8, depending on what you guys kind of like. Like, if you're not really a big fan of like a more buggier, kind of old school Skyrim Fallout games, might be closer to like a 6 to you. If you guys don't mind the Skyrim jank and can kind of roll with the punches, might be an 8. But there's a lot of, it's a really like depends on your playstyle type of game. Like something like a Baldur's Gate, you can go and say it's a pretty much 9 out of 10 for almost anyone out there. Or like a Spider-Man's a little bit more easy for normal folks to get into. This game is very, very on the niche side. Either way, people are kind of making this and kind of talk about the stuff. People are upset about the early access, and that's where a lot of reviewers came in. We saw, number one, a lot of reviewers on big publications such as Eurogamer, etc., complaining how they never even had access to a game key. And there's like some big Xbox bias going on, where some folks were just assuming that places like Xbox were trying to go and intentionally deny certain game companies their own access to the keys, just because they're like, hey, you're probably gonna be anti-Xbox, or keep it too real. We'll give it to someone who might be a little bit more nicer to make sure our game does well. And that also kind of made sense. Some people are calling out that might have been controversial, or like maybe the review scores were higher than expected, mainly because all the folks that were engaged in that or involved in that were just not like being as honest as they should have been, or obviously have like an Xbox bias. There's been a lot of drama behind this game, let alone by the issues, let alone by the pre-access, let alone by the actual reviews or everything else. It was kind of crazy. I think the game's okay, and I'm not like, someone who's harping on it too much. But that's why it's funny, because some people who did literally zero research we're trying to get their PS5 codes. So one group of people who certainly won't have any codes for Starfield are PS5 users, but apparently that hasn't stopped them from asking. Bethesda's senior director of PR, Matt Frere, revealed in a tweet that media outlets had nonetheless been asking him for Starfield PS5 codes. So now it is the weekend. Shout out to the small handful of reviewers who requested a PS5 code unironically. I may not have responded, but you just know it made me laugh. And I'm sure someone out there, like it's a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, reviewer, whatever, probably sent out that email. Whether it's on accident, because maybe they just had to do a lot of PS5 codes, or their PS5 media outlet themselves, and they kind of just had that as their usual, just brainless, just typing it. Or if they were actually being intentional, they really did not know. I'm sure someone reading this tweet is upset. And thankfully, for once, it was not me. Thankfully, I was not the guy who sent out press emails. I just paid for the early access because I want to go check out the game itself. So for once, it's not my fault. Let's go, baby. And obviously, if you guys can tell by the sarcasm tweets or my own commentary, Starfield is not on the PS5. These are definitely not a thing. Like, these devs are literally making fun of these people, which is hilarious, because I think it's rightfully so. I think it's duh. Like, I think, you should at least know the basis of your game. How do you not know this? Like, what is wrong with you? And they say, even for this one, too, same with my video. Like, we're not necessarily making fun of PS5 users, or just making fun of the dumb people who just didn't notice, which is definitely not all of PS5 users, saying this isn't a console dig, he clarified. It's a dig at contacts not checking their work. So basically them saying, well, they don't know it's an Xbox exclusive. It seems like certain publications may not have done a thorough enough scan of their email templates and wound up with some eggs on their face. If you're on Xbox too as well, don't forget Game Pass is coming out very soon with it. I'd still say if for $11, or if you have Game Pass currently, go and check that on out. Do it to it. There's no reason not to. 100% do it. But at the same exact time, too, it's kind of funny to go and see people out here just unaware of what's happening here. There's also, if you guys are curious, a huge news when it comes to Hogwarts. Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development. It's claimed. So if you guys missed it, this is a hype game from me. A new claim suggests that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development, presumably by Avalanche Software. The news comes via Twitter, via My Time to Shine, who says the sources confirm that a Hogwarts Legacy sequel is in the works. Admittedly, the claim is probably one of the safest bets someone can state, following how well and successful Hogwarts Legacy has been, and this game is solely good running for Game of the Year, although don't forget we still have Starfield, which I don't think is going to win, Baldur's Gate, which I do hope wins, and a few others as well, such as Tears of the Kingdom. We've had a very stacked year for games. Within 2 weeks of its February 10th launch, the game sold more than 12 million copies, generated over $850 million, and last month, it was revealed via the Warner Bros. Senior Global Brand Manager that the game had achieved 256 to plan sell-through at launch, and the game generated over $1 billion in global revenue on current generation and PC alone. So just based on the fact of how successful this was, they will most likely have another version with almost a doubt. I myself like the game. I think if they kept on using these assets and all the controversy aside, I did beat it. I did like it. I enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, I'd probably play a second one as long as it was a good game. And I think these had a pretty good run so far. And as well, we also did go and have even more stuff when it comes to Sea of Stars. Really good game. I played this already myself. It's getting a DLC. that links now to its Metroidvania predecessor. So the fact that this game is already getting a DLC that only came out not too long ago is one of the best things to go and see. I love when indie games get good recognition, and I love the fact that they're just talking about this right now. Like basically on the prior games, Kickstarters and all that went extremely, extremely well, and the more happy indie games you get, the better I am. So give me all your thoughts and comments on this crazy Xbox, PlayStation drama. We'll have another video up in a little bit, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys want to go and follow. And of course, as well, hope you guys are having a fantastic Memorial Day. Talk to you guys soon.